Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Welcome back to the livest, dopest, freshest podcast on the market. As always, my name is Jamal Thompson, also known as JT, and you are tuned into the Qrack the Code podcast. Welcome back. It has been a minute. It's been far too long. Thank you guys for tuning in and joining us on this very special edition of the Qrack the Code podcast. We have a very special guest coming in here shortly, but we will get into him soon. As always, thank you so much for supporting this Code family. Thank you for supporting the organization, the brand. We have a lot of exciting things in store. And I just want to touch on the 5 Code Advisory Board members as always. Without them, we couldn't do any of this. So thank you to Dr. Levita Burwell, Dr. Julie Baker, Mr. Tom Savage, Chief Randy Evans, and Coach Marcus King. Thank you, 5, for always instilling in us and help us redefine the define. So that's enough of me talking. We have a very special guest, very special brand, a collab, so to speak. So please don't go anywhere. Please sit in your seats, watch on your television, phone, iPad. We will be right back on the Qrack the Code podcast. Stay tuned. And welcome back to another episode of the Qrack the Code podcast. We have a very, very, very special guest with me here today. Everybody, please put your hands and together to help me welcome Elijah Brooks.
Woo! Elijah!
Hey, Elijah! My brother, how are you?
Good, bro. Good.
How's your day going so far?
Man, it's been smooth. Chilling. I had an exam this morning.
How'd it go?
It was good. No, it was real good.
So let's just jump right into it, man. We know you're from Nashville, Tennessee.
For sure.
You went to Innsworth. We don't like Innsworth on this podcast.
I love Innsworth.
So talk about your upbringing. Talk about how you came up. Talk about some of the things that you experienced in high school.
I'm actually pretty thankful and blessed. Like a 2-parent household. My little brother Solomon, God's sister Jasmine. She turned 31 in 2 days.
Happy birthday.
Just had, like I said, 2-parent household. They raised me the right way, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I mean, just pushing me to be my best all the time, and look where we at now. So
yeah. So you feel like that support that you had from your family, from your siblings, kind of help you grow into the young man you are today?
Most definitely, yeah. Definitely molded me.
What way? In what way?
Just being like having them to lean on, you know, or just having good examples of what I want to be like when I grow up. You know, even like nobody's perfect, so you see the good and the bad, but you learn from it. For
sure. So you're on the baseball team.
Yeah.
When did you start playing baseball?
I started playing. I played t-ball when I was 4. But I played tackle football when I was 5. So I've been playing baseball, football my whole life.
Okay.
And then it just got to high school, and I was like, I'm gonna go play baseball.
Okay.
It just spurred the moment.
Okay. So you play football and you play baseball. So what made baseball stick?
It was just different. I like the mental aspect,
yeah.
Like, you know, the mental grind of every day, you know, pushing past that failure, you know what I'm saying? So that's what stuck out to me the most.
Okay. So let's transition a little bit. So in baseball, we know that there's not a lot of, I guess you could say, diversity, representation. There's some overseas guys. We know we got guys coming from the Dominican Republic and things like that, but
right.
not a lot of young black people kind of go and gravitate towards baseball, right?
Right.
So what do you think is going to take for more young black people to kind of gravitate towards that and pick up a baseball instead of running with the football?
Yeah, so I really think it's going to start with coaching, like having people, you know, I've had ex-players like that were my coaches, like that were African-American, and that mean the most to me. Like I still got my guy, DJ Merriweather. I go to him every time. Like every time I go back home for break, I go to him because it's just that image for me. You know what I'm saying? Ro Coleman too. He played at Vandy. I go to him a lot too, but just having those faces, having those people teaching you, like it goes a long way. So I think for the youth, it's about having black coaches, because you think about it, like that's really where it started, you know. And then you know, cost of entry too, as far as, you know, trying to pay to play. It's
expensive.
It's expensive, man, compared to 7-on-7 football,
right.
AAU basketball, you know. So it starts there, for sure.
So let's transition a little bit. So you're here. What made you come to Tennessee Tech?
Couple things. I'm an engineer, so it's an engineering school. Okay. Then really right down the street. It was actually like a fail-safe option for like grades wise, because it's, you know, I mean, it's public university. It's not necessarily hard to get into, but at the same time, it's still a good education.
Right.
So it just led me down this path for real.
So what was that transition like coming from big city Nashville to smaller city Cookeville? How did you acclimate coming here?
I mean, it was different, but it was more so the people around me were good quality people. So like it wasn't that big of a deal, you know what I mean? So it wasn't that bad of a jump. Honestly, my freshman year coming here was actually more fun, like just being in this environment.
Okay. How's the baseball team looking this year?
Looking good, man. I'll say we got some good competitors. Like, this is probably the most competitive team I've been on since I've been here. Just as far as like wanting to go get it, working. Like, we work every day. You know, we got Coach Bragger behind us, pushing us forward too. So it means a lot, like, to have teammates that feel the same way about the game as you.
That's exciting. So let's transition a little bit more. So, in case you guys don't know who I'm talking to Mr. Head Honcho himself. Big Honcho. Get your merch. Tell me about this. Tell me how this came about.
Man.
Where did this come from?
So I tell this is a story I tell. Like, it's just straight up how it happened. So, like, I was like 16. I had no money, I ain't no job, you know, asked my parents, like, can I get some money, go here, get some food, gas, whatever. So I just got tired of it, which, I mean, that's how we are when you're young. You just get tired of asking for things. So I was like, I want to get something for my own. I told my dad I was going to get a job. I told him I was going to, like, you know, DoorDash or, like, do, Instacart with the groceries. And he flat out cussed me out.
Really?
Yeah, he was like, what you mean you going to get a job? You just trying to work for somebody your whole life? Like, you want to just be a employee, make money for somebody else, like, you sit on your A word, you know what I'm saying? You know how it go. You know how it so like, at first I was kind of like thrown off. I was like, dang, like, I'm trying to make something out of myself. Like, he getting mad at me, but like, I didn't see it at that moment as what it truly was. Like, he was just trying to make me figure things out on my own, because he figured I had those skill set to do that. Like, I had the skill set to start my own thing, no matter how big it gets, but like, I got something for myself, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's something we all need to value too, as like black people having ownership in things, for sure. But that's really where it stemmed from, him cussing me out that one day. Then I went down a whole rabbit hole of different ways to make money, like, besides having a job. And it led me to this.
So he saw more in you than you saw it yourself at that time, pretty much. That's awesome, dude. So how long has Head Honcho been a brand?
Like a year and 2 months.
Okay, so
fairly new.
What happened between that conversation with your dad to a year and a half ago when you started it? What was the groundwork that you put in to get to the start?
I really just a lot of research, Google, YouTube, all that. Just like, it really started from like reselling stuff. So like, I would go like, for walk into Goodwill, see some clothes like $5-6, I'd buy them and then resell them on like the reselling apps like Poshmark or it's another app, Depop. Like, I'd go on there. I'd buy even DVD sets, VCR, sell them on eBay, like different stuff like that. And that was cool, but it was just like, I didn't see a scalable way for myself. Like, and that wasn't something I really wanted. And then I started seeing like brands, and it was like, you name your price. Like, you create value, you name your price. And I felt like that was something it hit home right then and there. So that's when I knew it was gonna go down.
So you said a lot of good stuff right there. One thing that stood out to me was creating value.
Right.
So, in creating this brand, this movement, really, because at this point it's a movement on this campus. And it's a movement in the city, back home too.
Exactly.
So do you feel like, one, you are creating value, and two, do you feel like you are serving your purpose?
Exactly. So, creating value comes from just how you. My whole goal for this wasn't a dollar amount. It was how many people can I interact with, how many people can I impact, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's just a simple conversation, whether I can refer them to somebody I know about something, or whether it's just making their day, like, how many people can you impact, you know, how many people can you influence? And that's how you create value. That's how I feel like I can create value. So that was the whole, and that came back to purpose. It served my purpose, because that's how I feel like as a person I am. Like, I want to create value for others. For sure. Do things for others, for sure.
So how has the journey been being an entrepreneur from the beginning, where you wasn't selling anything, to now where it's hot and you got a lot of clientele?
It's crazy, because honestly, like, and I knew it was gonna come up, but you hit that point where like you sold to all your friends and family. Like, I got a very supportive group of people around me, so like, I didn't know who I was necessarily gonna sell to first, but people started like, oh, you got this, you got that, what you got, like, would support me. But now it's getting to that point where like I've exhausted those resources. Like if people like, I'm not expecting my family to buy from me now. I'm not expecting my friends to be reaching out. Like if they do it, it's out of love. But like now it's like go time, really like reaching those people that don't know me, so they can get to know me, so they can get to know what I got. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at right now. That's that next step.
So that's a perfect segue into my next question. What do you envision being next for yourself as an entrepreneur, but also a head honcho of the brand?
Right. So, I mean, I'm getting my engineering degree next fall. So I definitely want to, for sure. Long time coming. Like, grind.
I'm already know.
Been a grind, but it's well deserved, and I'm definitely gonna go to work and use my degree to the best of my ability. But as far as head honcho in my business like mindset, where I want to go, like I definitely got a good set of friends that I could rely on as far as business knowledge, getting things done. So I definitely feel like in the future it's gonna be a wide variety of things I get into. Like if we could talk all day about it, but down the road, I would definitely want to look back and be like, I did everything I want to do, like as far as my checklist. Like whether it's real estate or just the back end work, it's little stuff. It's a lot of stuff you can talk. It's a lot.
So what is your advice to young entrepreneurs like yourself trying to start up a business, trying to get a brand going, but really don't know where to start?
Stop looking at what everybody else got.
Okay.
Because that ain't you. Like the thing about a brand is like this is an image. This is like a self-reflection of myself. Like you got your own self-reflections. People buy this because they see a self-reflection of themselves within it. So like for me, it was never about seeing what anybody else had. It was about looking within myself, like what I got to offer. So I say stop looking around and look within, and then just grind. Like it ain't gonna be pretty. Like it's not ever pretty, but you gotta take that risk if you want that reward.
For sure. So let's transition a little bit. We know that you are brand mogul, right? But you are also a leader. Not only with this, but you are also a part of the Center of Diversity Education. You were one of the initial members of Code. So how has Code impacted you in your journey to being the entrepreneur, the young man, the baseball player? How has Code impacted your life?
It was really just, I feel like it's put me around the right group of people. Like that got their head on straight. I think that's the most important point of Code, was to just bring people together that had certain values and principles they live by. So like I think that was the biggest impact, being around those people. You know what I'm saying? Because you're the sum of the 5 people you be around most. So if you around good people, you're gonna be good people.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about the brand. We've talked about Code, and we know Code is trying to do we are doing a conference this summer. So how do you think that conference can impact other student athletes around the state of Tennessee, bringing the student athletes here to Tennessee Tech?
That conference gonna be something special. I'm not even gonna lie. That's gonna be crazy. Like just like I said, like it's about gathering folks, gathering like-minded people that have value that can offer it to others. You know what I'm saying? It's about exchange of value. So this conference, it's a win-win for all parties. You know, so I'm just excited to see how it goes, really. You
and me both, man. We got a lot more work to do, but I think, like you said, the people that you surround yourself around, if they're elevating, if they're pushing you, then you have no chance and no other option but to move in the right direction.
Yeah, so. and true. People come out, they might have some merch to cop, Maybe.
Don't give too much. Don't give too much. So let's transition a little bit. We talked about your journey. We talked about your impact that you're making on people. We talked about the Code family, but now it's time to transition to a very serious Qrack the Code staple question. One of 2 on this podcast today, but both are very important.
Word.
What would you tell high school senior Elijah Brooks, college freshman Elijah Brooks, now that you're about to graduate? What is some advice that you can give to the younger version of yourself?
I'd tell him, grind now, play later. When I say like play, I'm not talking about like on the field, just socially. Like that's not going anywhere. Like I wouldn't say I wasted time, but I learned. It was still valuable because I learned how to use my time better. But like there was times where I knew I was wasting my days. And it's it's always gonna come back and get you in some way and form. But you gotta, like I said, grind now, play later. So like now, at this point, I'm not even looking back at that freshman year of me. Like I'm looking forward to graduate me, you know, the businessman me, what I want to be at that point.
So you're about to graduate with an engineering degree, right? Like that's much bigger than the degree that I got. So what is your plans for that? What are your plans for that?
Hey, I say this: a degree is a degree, but like you still got to do something with it. You know what I'm saying? So for my sake, I got an internship lined up. Into land development, so I'm gonna see where that takes me. See if I enjoy that. But like I said, it's still about being around good people. Yeah. So it's never about the dollar's gonna come, the dollar sign's gonna come, but it's more about being around the right set of people in the right environment. That's how you prosper. Okay.
And speaking of that, I also know that the brand is trying to do some big things back in Nashville. You want to talk about that, or we gonna keep that?
Yeah. So I linked up with a couple other people who, you know, have brands and do other things, and we come together, have a streetwear festival in the city. That's something I've never been a part of. I've been living in Nashville my whole life, and the experience we're gonna put together is nothing like anything I've been around before. You know, streetwear market. We have a basketball tournament 5-on-5. I had my basketball tournament here, and that went well. But I want to take it back home, so I'm gonna see how it goes back at home. We got a lot set in store. You just stay tuned. I'll shoot out the info. The info. Yeah. You'll see it.
And we're gonna put all your stuff in the description box below.
Say less.
Where people can support.
Say less. Appreciate you.
As we're winding down here, we've heard a lot of great stuff, but now it's time for the most important question of the podcast. It's a question where a lot of people have failed, a lot of people have stumbled, a lot of people have lost their head, a lot of people have lost their minds. So if you don't think you're up to the challenge, I can understand that. I won't ask you that question. We're not big.
Man, you better hit me with this question, man.
All right, say no more. So, Stranded Island. You can only bring 3 things with you.
3.
Only 3 things. Elijah Brooks, head honcho, big honcho. What are the 3 things that you are bringing with you to this Stranded Island?
First off, the island probably nice, so I'm not bringing nothing to get me off.
But what if it's not?
I'm banking that it is. Like, it ain't gonna be treacherous for real.
Let's change it. The environment a little bit. It's a terrible island. Goons and goblins all around. I was told I need to be more specific with my question.
Okay.
So
that's fair.
This is a stranded, deserted island. Like, nasty island. What are the 3 things you're bringing with you to keep your sanity on this island?
I got too many friends that I could bring, so like I just say the one that's best suited for this situation. I'm gonna let a higher power take care of that. They can put them on that island with me. That's one. Okay. Definitely a boat with some paddles.
Is that 2? Should we count that as boat and paddle?
Well, at that point, if you want to count both, we still gonna make it home wherever we going. So at that point, that's it.
I'll count that as 1. Boat and paddle.
Boat and paddle.
So you got one thing.
Probably just some music to soothe the mind, you know.
You got it on like an iPod Nano?
iPod Touch with some earbuds. Yeah, some earbuds. Yeah, so we both can listen at the same time with some AirPods.
Are you making it off the island with those 3 things?
Yes. We out. We out. No, wait, we gonna make it.
I believe.
You seen Life of Pi?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. We gonna make it.
I believe. Still, nah.
Food overrated.
Food is overrated?
Food overrated, bro.
You gonna starve.
You gonna go. You gonna be all right. If you really want it, you gonna go get it.
What if it's not available?
What, food?
Yeah. I guess you could fish. I mean, it's an island. There's got to be fish in the water, right?
Somewhere. Something going on the island. You talking about something? I eat a goon or a goblin if I got to. What you mean?
That is the second best answer that I've heard.
I mean,
Taylor Dorsey says she's bringing a pilot.
Man, Taylor.
I think she said a phone because her phone has a hotspot, and she's bringing a private jet, I think.
I'm not gonna lie, she probably sat there for a couple hours, like not before she got up here and thought about it.
I think she knew. I think she
probably did,
because I think she kind of cheated too. Like
either way, she getting off.
It was a great answer and stumped me, but
shout out to her. She had a great season.
Superstar.
Nah, for real.
Superstar. I told her when I get my little man cave up, her jersey got to be the first one to go up. Whatever she doing, wherever she going.
For sure.
Superstar Taylor Dorsey.
For sure.
Link to that video will be in the description box below. Please check Taylor Dorsey's video out. And Head Honcho, man, I can't thank you enough for joining this podcast. I speak for not only myself, Code, but also a lot of other people. You are impacting a lot of people on this campus and a lot of people just in general by serving your purpose and leaving an impact and creating good content in the process. So thank you so much, man. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for giving us some of your time, man, and telling us about the exciting things that you got going on, my brother. So, it's always love on this side. I appreciate you. Thank you. Please stay tuned. We will be right back on the Qrack the Code podcast.
Yo.
Welcome back to the Qrack the Code podcast. We just heard from Head Honcho himself, Elijah Brooks. He shared a lot about his story. He shared his journey, and he also shared what it means to walk in his purpose. So shout out to the family member. Shout out to my brother Elijah for joining us. He talked about a lot of great things. We will make sure to put all of his information down in the description box below. And he helped me break some news today. So we're trying to have a conference here at Tennessee Tech. Code, we are trying to have the Qrack the Code conference here at Tennessee Tech. It is a 2-day action-packed conference open to all student athletes. I repeat, it is open to all student athletes, whether you are from the University of Tennessee all the way down to Fisk University. We would like to have student athlete representation from every single university in the state of Tennessee come to Tennessee Tech so we can show what diversity, inclusion, and empower student athletes to go and redefine the define and change the narrative of what a student athlete is. Please check our website out at crackthecode.org. That is www.crack.thecode.org for more information about our conference, and you can check out more information about our Code family. So thank you to Elijah Brooks for helping that. Please check out his information, buy some merch, support the family, and as always, thank you so much for tuning in and helping us redefine the define. That is enough of me talking. Thank you to our five Code Advisory Board members. Thank you to anybody who has ever supported the Code family. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you for helping all of us redefine the define. And as always, my name is Jamal Thompson, also known as JT. And this has been another episode of the Qrack the Code podcast.